We continue to bring you interviews with the biggest names in banking, and I'm delighted to welcome Antje Praefcke, who is the Senior FX Strategist at Commerzbank in Frankfurt, for this edition of Targets in Focus. So on the day the ECB has met and Greek officials have finally agreed upon austerity deal, it makes sense to start with the euro-dollar. How do you expect it to move over the coming 12 months?
We expect the euro to suffer from the Eurozone debt crisis. I mean, we know that it's still difficult for Greece, it's difficult for Ireland and Portugal. The risk of contagion is still in the market, so we will expect as well a recession in the Eurozone. So from an economic point of view, even if it's not the best cycle in the US, growth cycle in the US, we still see, compared to the Eurozone, a better trade-off in the US dollar. We think that overall, even if the market now, I think, understates a little bit the problems that are in the Eurozone, will again get aware of that in a couple of weeks, and so we see the euro trading a little bit lower against the US dollar. However, we also have problems in the US. Think about the fact that quantitative easing round 3 is not off the table. The unemployment rate is still moving very, very slowly lower in the US. We have a budget problem in the US, and we have new elections, presidential elections coming up at the end of this year. So I think we will see a moderate decline of the euro against the US dollar over the year. So at the end of 2012, we expect euro-dollar to trade around 125.
Are you surprised the euro has been so bullish this year? Euro-dollar has even touched the 133 level.
Yes, a little bit surprised, yes, because it does not reflect the fundamentals. But anyhow, if you have a look at the fact that positions in the euro have been so badly short, so extremely short over the last couple of weeks, and we have had a situation where, let's say, the risk aversion has abated a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and combined with these short positions, which didn't turn out actually for the traders, it's normal that if we do not see a strong downward move, some people have to buy back their short positions and buy the euro back. But anyhow, from a fundamental point of view, we are still of the view that the euro should trade lower over the year. Let's move on to the Aussie USD. What are you expecting there? We are very bullish the Australian dollar still. It all depends if global risk aversions on a global scale starts to pop up again. As long as, let's say, the US economy does pretty well, that there are no signs of a setback in the US economy, and as long as there are no signs of a collapse or a slowdown of the Chinese economy, the Australian dollar will perform well. So we still see the possibility that it tests higher and tests the old highs close to 111 against the US dollar. However, this is all provided that we do not see a pop-up in global risk aversion. So I'm bullish the Australian dollar. I'm still a buyer on dips in Aussie US dollar, but take a look on the US economy and on the Chinese economy and on global risk aversion.
And we can finish with the Euro Swissy. That 120 floor is being tested consistently since the resignation of Philipp Hildebrand. What are you anticipating over the coming 12 months?
With Euro Swiss having moved a little bit lower and closer to the barrier at 120 over the last couple of weeks, more and more positions even below the 120 level have been built up, which means that the market kind of like feels a certain interest in looking what's there and in testing the S&B. However, what we have always said, and we stick to our view, is that you should be very careful about testing the S&B in its will to defend the lower barrier in Euro Swiss. I think the market has first maybe to burn its fingers, but still we are of the view that the S&B will, without any doubts, defend the lower barrier, and we do not expect to fall, Euro Swiss to fall below the 120 level, and we are clearly on the buying side in case we fall towards the 120, 40, 50 level again.
Okay, thank you for your time. We'll bring you more targets in focus next week, but we still have lots to keep you informed on the markets here on Dukascopy TV. But for now, goodbye.